Let's go. Tatum 50 burger and a Celtics win.
Victory!
There's the victory music, ladies and gentlemen. What a wild game, capped off with the Celtics win. Jayson Tatum 53 points, 10 rebounds. And before anyone, tries to get into it was against a bad team. I get it. I get that. So I want to make it very clear. We are going to chug this beer right now. But it's for Jayson Tatum's 50 points. I'm not trying to celebrate the Celtics beating the Timberwolves. I want to make it clear. But it's damn good that they did win the game that Jayson Tatum dropped 53 points in. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, because we're about to down an entire beer. We're drinking Yinger Lights tonight. Ready for this perfect pour? I'm trying to do this on camera too. Marvelous. How fast we drink? It's ice cold. How fast we drinking it? How fast are we drinking this to celebrate Jayson Tatum's 50 burger? I don't know. I'm seeing in the chat AC saying Evan going for a shotgun. That's the thing. I don't have a can to shotgun if I'm being completely transparent. So we are going to down this, but let's see what we got. Jayson Tatum 50 points. If I start the stream getting beer all over me, whatever. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Let's go. 3, 2. Let's get to the stream. Everybody, welcome in. Like I said, as I try to battle this burp now, Friday night, we're going to get to all of this good Celtics talk here, good and bad. I can definitely see some negativity pulling in so far, but let me pull up the box score, and then we're going to get to it. I'm going to be battling that burp for a while, I could tell. But here we go. Box score. Jayson Tatum, 53 points, 10 rebounds. We'll start there. Jaylen Brown, 26 points, 5 boards. I mean, he really only had like 19 up until late in the game, but still, good from him. Marcus Smart, 24 points. You notice that is over 100 points from Marcus Smart, Jayson Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. So Marcus Smart, 24 and 8 and 6, which is, Marcus Smart, a couple good games in a row. Kemba Walker, slow game from him, but did finish up with 17, 9, and 7. My brain is scattered right now. I'm telling you guys, for the beginning of that game, and I'm sure all of you guys are in the same boat, right? The beginning of that game, I was kind of like, oh, geez, here we go. I'm going to have to do a post-game stream on a Friday night. They lost to literally the team, I think, with the worst record in the league. And then all of a sudden, they start coming back. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Now Jayson Tatum starts cooking. I'm like, okay, we got a Jayson Tatum career high stream coming up. And then the Timberwolves start coming back. And I'm like, oh, God, don't do this. Don't let Jayson Tatum drop 50 points the night after, the media's out to get him, and then the Celtics lose the game. That can't happen. It didn't happen, luckily, but let's get into some of the chat. Donovan saying, JT the animal. Kevin saying his sub has bacon in it. Jimmy J saying, I don't ever want to hear Jaylen's better. He's not. He's not. Some people can still cling to maybe he's more consistent, but he's not better at all. Greg says, don't care. I knew it was coming, and I hate that it was Greg that brings it up, but he says, don't care that we won that game. It's embarrassing against the worst team in the league. So here, let me counter that right now, because it's complete. I even started the stream. I said, I'm chugging that beer. Speaking of beer, we might as well crack another one. Shout out to anyone drinking with me tonight. I wasn't drinking because they beat the Timberwolves, but I was celebrating because you don't want to waste a Jayson Tatum 50-point game. Does that make sense? So the fact that they did end up winning the game, it does say a little bit. But I can accept the comment that is the worst team in the league. Jay saying Tatum's the alpha. Birkin saying all Tatum critics shutting down. Hayden saying GOAT JT 53. For him to, like I said, the media's down his ass, up his ass, whatever the saying is. And for him to come out and just drop 53, and this wasn't just like a 53, let me jack it, 53 on 25 shots, 65% from the field, 60% from 3, and he got to the line 16 times and made 15 of them. That screw that. That is Jayson Tatum's best game as a Celtic, and think about how many great games he's had. So it's enough to be excited about. I was texting with a buddy about it, and he had a similar point of view as what Greg was saying. He was like, this is, they're still, we can't celebrate winning to the Timberwolves and whatnot. But that isn't the celebration. It can't be. A win's a win. I want to go back to that. I know it's a loser take, but it's true. And the fact that Jayson Tatum said F you to all of the outside noise. It's clear the Celtics are hearing the noise. There's enough comments about it. Danny Ainge made a comment on it. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they've commented on it. The fact that Jayson Tatum, who we've said is kind of like a passive guy, blah, 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 he said F you to the outside noise and just dropped 53 points on anyone that's hated on him's forehead. That's the good news. Guys, the chat is flying. I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to. I am going to have to to skip ahead in the chat a little bit here. But anyways, guys, let's hit that subscribe button, like up the stream. I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. News says this has to be the dumbest group of players I've seen. And how are we going to skip to this one? It spreads like coronavirus team. Dumb play after dumb play in the final 2 minutes. That's fair because the Celtics did almost blow that. And that was what I was getting ready to get furious about. I was like, you can't waste a JAYSON Tatum 50 ball on efficient shooting, efficient from three, getting to the line, 10 boards. You can't waste that. They almost did, but they didn't. Steven saying Marcus had a hell of a game as well. 24 points, 8 assists, 6 boards. Ubi saying win-win. Francisco saying Tatum almost lost the game at the end. He's just a ball hog. Yeah, okay, pal. JAYSON Tatum dropping 53 points on your forehead, Francisco. I don't know if you really have strong legs to stand on tonight. JAYSON Tatum almost lost the game. He also pretty much single-handedly won the game. The Celtics were down big, and JAYSON Tatum said, no. Let me have a career night. Saying, given the same opportunities, Brown would probably score the same points. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I see people calling for, I skipped ahead in the chat, so I missed some of this, right? I missed some of this shit talk here, but I mean, I do think Brown can score 50. I don't know if he can score 50. Like Tatum just can drop an electric 50. Gear says, can we get 50 likes for 50 bomb tonight? I mean, what are we at now? No chance guys, I haven't seen you guys hit 50 likes in like 2 weeks. Give me a break. You guys are asking for 50 likes. Gear, come on now. There is a bunch of people in the stream, and the fact that we don't have even 20 likes just a few minutes into the stream, JAYSON Tatum goes and has a career high game. I had a career high chug of a beer at the beginning of the stream. As you guys in the chat, let's have a career high with the likes here. 50 bomb tonight in the chat for likes. I'd be down. Bergen says, love Jalen's pass to JT for his 48th point. Steven says, does Coke zero count? Yeah, chug anything you got. Tiffany says, a win's a win. Late saying, give Tatum his damn respect. He needs it. Like, I think that shuts it up. I'm not going to lie. And I haven't hated on Tatum, right? We did just drop an episode of Unleashed on the YouTube channel, so go check that out, where I brought in my best friend of all time, and he was pretty hard on Tatum. Still loves him, though. But I don't even think anyone can really come back from any sort of Tatum hate. Truly. 50 is that sort of next level of scoring. It's not like JAYSON Tatum responded to the hate with a 30 ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, JAYSON Tatum came in here and dropped 50 points on any hater's ass. Like, that's a huge number. So I don't know if you can come back from this if you are a hater or a JAYSON Tatum hater. Lex saying, why do we have to come back to the worst team in the league? Guys, I know it's the worst team in the league. That's not the story of the night, though. I'm going to seem like a loser. I keep saying that word, saying a win's a win, but it is. But I am more excited about the fact that they just didn't throw away a JAYSON Tatum 53-point night where he was responding to the media. And I do think that is something to account for here. Like, I don't think that we can be like, oh, JAYSON Tatum hasn't heard any of the shit talk. No. He's made statements. Jaylen Brown, Danny Ainge just said it. The Celtics team is well aware of the hate they're getting, and JAYSON Tatum just kind of took it upon himself to say, I'm going to go for 50. And again, this was not the JAYSON Tatum sort of, 50 points, right, on 50 shots, shooting 30% from the field. The guy went for 65, 60, and 94 for percentages tonight. News says, also, this may be the worst officiating I've seen from tip to final horn this year. Wolves and C's were both victims. It was. I thought you were going to say, like, it kind of was like the Celtics got screwed, but no, that was so weird. Like, Karl Anthony Towns, he got pissed a couple times, rightfully so. The Kemba Walker haircut, like, it was some weird officiating. And I saw on Twitter people like, oh my God, no offense, but this woman ref can't ref. It's like, anyone saying that was not looking at any of the other officials either. You know what I mean? Like, that was just all around bad reffing. And it wasn't like, oh, they're letting them play tonight or anything like that. It was like they would call a ticky-tack foul, and then a guy would get hammered and they wouldn't call it. So it was that there's no consistency. I'm totally fine if refs are going to, openly not call the game, ticky-tacky or let the guys play, let the kids play type of thing. I'm fine with that, because then you're technically missing calls all night long. But if you're calling it consistently, it is what it is. It's like a ump strike zone in baseball. By the third inning, you should understand if this ump's consistent, that's his strike zone. You got to pitch to it. But when these refs are changing their strike zones on the court, it makes it just frustrating to watch, because like all of a sudden you have a ticky-tack foul, then you have a guy get clobbered, no foul, but it must be tough to play in as well. Like, there was, how many technicals? 3 technicals? Yeah. Phil saying, time to bust out my Tatum jersey here on the West Coast. Greg I definitely missed some of the chat here. Lex is saying JT's goated. Michael's saying, let's not forget about Smart's excellent hustle and leadership. But yeah, man, this is JT's night. I mean, Marcus Smart 2 nights in a row and 2 wins where he was pretty damn good. Pretty damn great. I'll give it to him. You know, Marcus Smart, again, like, for all the bad threes and stuff, I think he's gone 50% and 60% from 3 in the past 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. Game says, I wonder who the player of the game is. Did I forget? Maybe it was so obvious that I didn't do it, but drum roll, please. Do I have that? I do have that on the soundboard. JAYSON Tatum, player of the game, 53 points, 10 boards. It's his 5th time winning it this year. I mean, it's we've talked about it already. I'm usually popping that player of the game up earlier in the stream, but JAYSON Tatum, 53 points, and an efficient as hell 53 points as well, I'll add in. Kane saying, what a joke of a win. I mean, it's a good win, but the Timberwolves. And again, guys, I'm hearing that. I will gladly hear that take all night long, okay? Like, I understand that, and I think everyone understands that. But I just want to make sure if we're trying to pick a lane of the narrative and as to why we should be happy tonight, it isn't because they beat the Timberwolves. A win is a win, and I've said it over and over again, but the fact that you were able to capitalize on JAYSON Tatum going for 50, on Marcus Smart having a good game, on, you know, other, like Jaylen Brown having a good percentage-wise game, like, that's when you want to win those games, because then it tells these players, it tells us as fans, for Christ's sakes, it tells everyone that, hey, all this work, playing good basketball, passing the ball around, that isn't all for nothing. Like 32 assists tonight, a bunch of them came in overtime, I get it. So, you know, I don't know how many it was in overtime, but call it 25 assists tonight, still better than the Celtics usually seem to do. It's like all that resulting in a W does a lot for this team, regardless if you beat the Timberwolves or if you beat, you know, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Nets. Like, if you play good basketball and it translates into a W, that's going to say a lot to these guys, especially with all the outside noise going on. So even though it's like, you know, we only beat the, like, I get it. We beat the Timberwolves. They're literally the worst team in the league, I believe, record-wise. But it's better than losing to the Timberwolves, for one. And two, all those peripherals that I just named, the fact that those all resulted in a win, it should go without saying, but I have to say it does mean a lot to this team. BP saying, in perspective, it took an efficient 53-point game. I can't get away from the negative comments tonight. But again, like, they are rightfully so. But it took a 53-point game to win an OT game versus the worst team in the league, competing for the number 1 pick. It's true. But we're still happy about it, all right? News is saying, I don't think it's too much asked to get 102 from Smart, Tatum, and Brown every night, right? That should be a minimum. Sincerely, idiots on that other show. Oh, my God. Francisco saying, love Brown, but realizing he just doesn't have the killer instinct. He is just too passive. For the ability he has, he's just wasting by like a little pussycat. Here's my thing with Brown, and I've said it all along. Now, this is outside of the defense because he's been dogging a little bit on defense. Jaylen Brown is JAYSON Tatum of last year. JAYSON Tatum had that one amazing month, but he wasn't takeover Tatum for that entire season. Jaylen Brown has the performance leap this year, and I'm hoping that sort of swagger and I can take over a game ability is to follow maybe next year, end of year here. So I'm not ready to write Jaylen Brown off as to not having the killer instinct. I think he gets that look in his eyes a lot. We talked about it last stream. He doesn't have the let me go off for, you know, near 60 points yet, but I think that he's following a similar trajectory in the terms of, you know, like, oh, okay, well, I see that my game, I'm an all-star now. I took that level, right? The chip is kind of off my shoulder for the all-star. Now let me be a takeover guy. And we've seen Jaylen Brown drop plenty of points before. I don't mean to say like, oh, he doesn't have any takeover ability, but, you know, I do hope that that's sort of a domino to fall because it seems like he does kind of disappear in a lot of games sometimes. Boy, oh boy. Greg says, now I know why non-Celtics fans hate Marcus Smart. He barely got touched on the neck area and played it like Ron Artest elbowing Harden years ago. I even got mad and yelled he didn't get touched. He was like squirming on the ground too, but I don't like to see it. I hate the flopping, but you know, it's not the first time we've seen that out of Smart too. You know, my biggest thing with NBA players when they get hit on the head, right? And then they go, and like by the third time, you're like, hey, buddy, FYI, you're not bleeding. And then they're walking to the foul line. They're like, just in case like the 14th time they check, now blood starts. It's slow on the head. You know, you cut open your head. It doesn't bleed right away, right? It's frustrating, but that is just the NBA we have. AC says, I need to send you some more good beer. I cannot let this happen. 53 points from Tatum. And hey, I'll say this, not Yingling Light, but Yingling's my favorite beer. In fact, I've DM'd them like 3 times being like, hey, Wink, wink. Like, nothing. So they're quickly, working themselves out of the rotation, but it's been my favorite beer for so long. So Yingling Light, not so much, but Yingling, I put this up with. This is my go-to, you know what I mean? So I know it looks like AC to you, like a 53-point night from Tatum, and you're drinking Yingling, but to me, it's like I'm drinking my favorite beer after a 53-point night. That was for you, AC. Matt says, Rob starting isn't the answer y'all thought it was. The outside noise might be the answer. Don't ignore the big plays, Grant. And Marcus had tonight. I was going to say Marcia because I just read these things like a teleprompt. Had tonight. This was good for chemistry. I'm calling it W Sunday. Let's hope so. I do like that they give, and I hope they continue to give Robert Williams the chance, though. Let him start until he messes up. That's what I want, which is what they're doing. So I like that because Tristan Thompson's proven a very reliable sort of bring him in, and he's not going to go off. He's not going to be extremely great, but you bring him in off the bench, and he's going to be like a consistent sort of steady flow, do your job type of guy. But I think you still continue to start Robert Williams because now that you have now that you have put and penciled in Robert Williams as a starter, if you go and erase that pencil, Robert Williams is going to be like, shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's going to be a detriment to him, whereas I think we can all agree he's supposed to be the big man of the future. So I'm not looking to take him out of the starting lineup, so I agree that he's maybe not the answer, but I think you got to keep throwing it at him. BP saying, you go take a 300-pound elbow to the upper neck to Greg. Connor saying, can we have a game where we beat the team by 53 instead of a player scoring 53 against the worst team in the league? Tiffany saying, Celtics fans are never satisfied. And I'll be honest, like, I'm not satisfied with the win. I mean, satisfied is probably a perfect word. So I'm going to agree with Tiffany because I think I'm probably in the minority here being like, oh, like, they got the win. Let's go. Let's chug a beer to start the stream. But, I mean, I'm not like completely satisfied, like, oh my God, they beat the Timberwolves. Like, that's not the point. I keep saying it over and over again. The point really is that it took a Tatum 53-point game, which is a positive, but like, yeah, I get where people would say, okay, it took a 53-point win and overtime to beat the Timberwolves. And I see all over social media, like, this Timberwolves team is better than you thought. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm not caught up in the chat, but if anyone's trying to say, oh, this team's better than we thought, no. This Timberwolves team stinks. Like, stinks. The Celtics, scraped out a win. But if Jayson Tatum doesn't drop 53 points tonight, we are going to be talking a little bit more like, oh, we beat the Timberwolves, like we did last game against the Knicks, right? It was like they fought at the end. It was great, but it wasn't this big storyline. Jayson Tatum dropping 53 points, I feel like people are underrating how big of a number that is. That's enough to get on here on a Celtics stream and celebrate with every one of you watching. Like, that's huge. That isn't Jayson Tatum big 30-point night against the Timberwolves. 53 points. Crazy. Like, that's a crazy number. And I think it's well worth celebrating. Fab says the dubs probably and props for battling back. They could have lost it. Again, like, suckily, this team has lost two bad teams this year. They could have lost that game. We have a different story. Connor says, I feel like we've lost every game or barely won every game this season. Yeah, seriously. Late saying Kemba just doesn't have it, sadly. I mean, he isn't, like I said, he had like 11 points when they were in the crux of the game. 17, I think he had a couple threes in overtime or late in the game. Like, Kemba is just not, he's not fully there, it seems. Kane saying Kemba needs to take a year off or something. He looks tired. He just doesn't look there. Like, we talked about how guys are playing out there and they're not involved. Like, Kemba just doesn't seem as, and I guess this isn't the right way to put it because involved, he's definitely involved, but he doesn't seem like involved to me. I know that's not making much sense, but it's like, he doesn't seem completely go-to like, or the ability to put the ball in his hands and good things happen, which should be his involvement. Raisin saying Tatum heard the slander. I know, and that's what I love. I love that he just came back and said, boom. Kid saying Brown looks way too sloppy. He doesn't read the floor. And again, I hope that these are sort of things that are going to come with time, not even with time, next year with Jalen. Like, the next domino to fall is all of the things we're mentioning. Him not disappearing, him being able to make the smart play. Jaylen Brown took the scoring leap this year, and you see that with everyone. I use Jayson Tatum as an example, but everyone sort of takes that like, oh yeah, I'm a star or an all-star, whatever you want to call him. Now things are going to build on that. You know what I mean? He has the foundation of, okay, I can drop buckets. And even though I do think 26 points is a little misleading for Jaylen. Like, I feel like I would have put the number when that game was ending originally at like 19-ish, which is all right with Jayson Tatum going for 53, but still. Abdul's going, I'm missing Francisco's comments, so I don't know if he's saying anything bad or not. Hey, if anyone is in here talking like legitimately crap, been a couple times now we've had to, open up the body bag and put the trolls in there, so we'll figure out if we have to do that, but I haven't seen it enough yet. Birkin says this must not be a one-off. It better not be. Greg says the only thing that Kemba did today was hit threes that matters in overtime that really won us the game, so at least he did that. Yeah, and I don't even know if, like, you're right, because he did hit a couple threes there in overtime that were like, okay, like that, if they missed that, and all of a sudden it's the Timberwolves going to go down and score. But Kemba, I know he had 17 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. That sounds great, but I don't know if Kemba, like, you pluck him from this game. I'm wondering if those points, rebounds, and assists get allocated elsewhere. Like, Kemba wasn't truly there in a must play tonight. BP says Tatum's okay, but he's no Brandon Bass. MT says, I wonder what it'll take to get Cat this offseason, since they said he'd probably be on the trade block. I'd send the farm, not JT or JB. I don't know if you can get Cat without JB, to be honest. Gear says that one play where Tatum went hard at the rim and got fouled is a good thing. The explosiveness is something we need to see every night. Jayson Tatum decided to go to the hoop tonight, right? Made plenty of layups, 53 points. How about 16 shots at the line, making 15 of them? Like, Jayson Tatum took, maybe it was Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins called him out and said he's soft, he can't hang his head, complained to refs. He still complained to refs a little bit tonight, but he was getting the calls. So maybe Jayson Tatum found something in the sense that if I just go strong and don't do this floater where I shoot it from, like, my nipple, like, he does that, he dribbles and he goes, it's like, dude, your wingspan's like 11'6", and you're going to go like this? I can do this. He's got to extend and go to the hoop, which he did tonight. Hopefully he found something and realizes it and takes advantage of it moving forward. Francisco saying the reason why Brown's defense is not good is because he is playing aggressive, isn't playing as aggressive is because he doesn't want to get fouls. I mean, that could be true, but I just think that it's like the effort too. So I get that you're saying he doesn't want to play aggressive, but he's just been, and I've chalked it up to he's trying more on the offensive end, and I know you guys don't always agree with that either. But, the Jaylen defense, to me, a guy that's really, really capitalized on being a two-way guy so far in his career, it's been a little bit unfortunate to see Jaylen's defensive regression. But again, I would take the Jaylen Brown we have this year versus last year, so I don't want it to get, misconceived over here. Kid says, what do you think Kendrick Perkins is trying to, what do you think of Kendrick Perkins trying to take credit for Tatum? I just mentioned that too. If Kendrick Perkins is actually trying to take credit for that, then that's just stupid. I was making almost a joke. Maybe he heard him. Kendrick Perkins isn't like, and I know Kendrick Perkins probably sees Twitter where people are like, Perk should be coach. So he's probably riding on a high right now because he called Tatum out and now Tatum goes off. But Jayson Tatum, if anything, he has 50. We've seen him be able to drop 50 before. He hasn't, but it's like he drops 41 3/4. He has 50 in him. It didn't take like an extraterrestrial being to make Jayson Tatum drop 50. But what I will say is, I'm gonna believe, because I like the sound of it, is that outside noise made him say, screw you, let me show you what I got, and that's what we've been missing from Tatum. That sort of F you mentality, which is good because it's sort of a subtle, it's like almost like a passive-aggressive way of doing it, because, he loves Boston, he probably loves the fans, but he's a little pissed at the fans, but he can't speak out against the fan, because then he looks like a Kevin Durant crybaby, and I love what Durant's done lately, to be completely honest, with Rappaport and everything, but like Kevin Durant's sort of accidentally using burner accounts and whatnot, right? If Jayson Tatum calls out fans and whatnot, he's going to look like a softie. So he says, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Not going to say anything bad about the fans. I'm just going to drop 53 points and show you guys why I shouldn't get traded. Show you guys what I mean and how I mean business. So that's what I like that happen. I believe that that's the case. Raisin saying, next time someone scores 40 or more, you're doing a shotgun. I just didn't have any cans. Raisin, if you missed the start of the stream, I absolutely deleted an entire beer. Everyone can back me up here. Trust me. Dean says, never complain over a win. Very easily could have thrown in the towel. Hit big shots to complete the comeback. I'm so far behind in the chat. Guys, this is the second time we're doing it. I am going to skip ahead in the chat a little bit again. Sorry, guys. Steven says, Jayson Tatum is the first Celtics player to produce 50 points and 10 boards in a game since Larry Bird. And I saw that he's only the third double 50-point guy since Larry and McHale, so which is crazy. Tracy says people don't realize the development both the Jays have taken. They'll be fine. That's the thing. I feel like people lose sight of that, me included. You know, everyone in the chat probably included at times when they have these frustrating losses. But to look back and think about where these guys have been, like no one could have predicted at 24 and 23 these guys. And again, the team hasn't been that great, so this is why we lose sight of that. If the Celtics were playing like they should have been playing, the fact that they're led by a 23 and 24-year-old, and again, this is a whole like if because it hasn't been the case. I feel like we've taken that a little bit for granted, and we're all guilty of it. But like I said, to counter that, it's like the production and the result of these games that have made us sort of lose sight of it. So it's a little bit of both there. Francisco says Brown will not progress because he doesn't have the killer instinct, and I love Brown. Been following him since he was a freshman at Cal. I think he's got a little bit more killer instinct than people think. Like Jaylen Brown gets that look in his eye sometimes more than Tatum. More often than not, more than Tatum. Jaylen Brown against the Knicks, killer instinct. I mean, it sucks that we're talking about, he beat the Knicks, and then, Jason Tatum beat the Timberwolves. I get it. Those aren't the two teams you want to parade around saying you beat, but those are two games where we're like, Jaylen Brown got the killer instinct. Jason Tatum got the killer instinct. That's a positive for me. Mike says, seemed like a tighter rotation tonight. What do you think? Yeah, they gave Langford a try, and he stunk. I'm not ready to get into Langford because it's like I was ridiculed for talking not even down on Romeo Langford, but talking realistic about Romeo Langford last stream. So, he went in there and didn't play that well. Semi got its run, but they really, really focused on that starting lineup. And then Tristan Thompson, I think Grant got a decent amount of play tonight. Didn't look bad, didn't look great, but obviously Grant Williams. He had that one play that was a momentum driver there. But I like the shortened rotation. But the thing is, the sad thing is that you're not always going to get, 100-plus points from the three of the two Jays and Marcus Smart. That allowed that rotation to be pretty, shrunken, I guess we can say. I don't know if you're always going to get the, that sort of blend, and you're not always going to be playing the Timberwolves. So I like that the rotation has as sort of seemingly shrunk, because the fact when Brad Stevens plays 12 guys in the first quarter, it's kind of like, well, now you're just telling the other team you don't even know what to do, so that's good. But, I don't know if this is a long-term thing. Does that make sense, Mike? Francisco says, love your chat. You're the greatest. Those 4 DBs on the other post-game show, we call it the other post-game show, cannot compete with you. I subscribed, and I don't do that very frequently. Well, shout out. I do appreciate that you subscribe, and the fact that you don't do that frequently, I really do appreciate. I'll take a sip for that. I appreciate that, Francisco. MT saying, maybe Tatum found something. Yep, he found the worst team in the league and cashed out. But you guys know what I mean. He found something in the sense of maybe he's getting to the hoop and it's like, if I don't try and draw the foul, I'll get fouled. So that's kind of what I mean. But I mean, again, I can't counter. I'm saying this you guys know I'm completely transparent on this show. I can't counter I'm not going to bullshit you guys and say, oh my God, no, the Timberwolves, they beat them. They're pretty good. They got Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. Too many Anthonys, but Jesus, they're way better than you thought. No. That's a dog water team. The Celtics should have beat them by 30 without Tatum dropping 50, with everyone playing okay. They should have been able to, right? They didn't, but that's not the story of the night. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm transparent. I'm going to hear out it wasn't, it's not the best team in the league. In fact, it's the worst team in the league. I get it, and I'm going to listen to it. But let me have my excitement over Jason Tatum, and we should all be excited over that. Connor says, I don't feel like Kemba's struggles are his fault. I think the Celtics management tried to bring him back from injury too soon, just like Hayward. I love Kemba's personality. He doesn't deserve the slander. And I don't really, if you're saying that I'm slandering Kemba, I don't, Connor, I've seen you in the stream before. I defend Kemba. And when I say he's sort of not involved in stuff, I don't mean that from I like Kemba. I think he's going to be better late in the year. I'm still clinging to that thread of I believe in Kemba. It just, to me, from what we've seen recently too, it's he's not as involved as I'd like, but he's making shots. That's what I could say. He's just not as involved in making shots. It's tough to speak too positively about him. So I don't want to slander him. I know people do slander him plenty, but if I'm coming off like I'm trying to hate on Kemba, it's not. I think most people in the stream would know that I've kind of defended Kemba for a while and don't think they're going to or are going to be able to trade him. So, don't want that to come off like that. Greg says they didn't even play my boy Jake Layman tonight. You couldn't see his greatness. That's probably because they didn't want the Celtics to go and sign him when his contract's up, Greg. Birkin saying Mata, Romeo, Jalen, Jason, Time Lord equals banners. Let's hope so. Gear says when Kemba isn't bringing up the ball, he has a hard time trying to involve himself in the play. Two's saying I honestly feel like Jalen and Jason have adapted a forget the regular season mentality after being so close to the finals numerous times. I think their defense turns up in the playoffs. I hope, because here, I'll say this, right? I'll say this. They've dug themselves, you know how like, oh, LeBron doesn't care about the regular season, or these guys don't care about the regular season in the NBA. Those are teams when they're like top 3 teams in their conference, top 3 teams in the league. If the Celtics are really, I'm going to, let's play devil's avocado here and say that you're correct there, too, certified. If Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown says, we don't care about the regular season. We're talking regular season? No. It's about the playoffs. They, this season, have worked themselves into a position where they might not get the opportunity to turn up in the playoffs. So I'm going to hope you're right, but I also don't know if that's been the best move if it is. Meat is saying JB's attitude is better than JT and Smart when it comes to motivation. Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown's sort of that under the radar leadership is slept on. I don't think that he's the verbal leader, but Jaylen Brown, so many times, he's the guy that sort of is driving that momentum of the team. The way he's playing, what he's doing is sort of setting the pace. Raisin says, man's channel really grown, huh? Can't even keep up with the chat. I mean, I can't keep up with the chat. I'm probably so far behind right now. We're approaching 500 subscribers, which is unbelievable. We did a jersey giveaway for 400, and before I know it, we're already almost at 500. In fact, I think I just read the comment, Too Certified. I think I won that jersey, so we'll get in touch with you and make sure you got your jersey of choice coming. But guys, I can't thank you enough for how much you've killed it in the chat and killed it with the like button and the subscriptions this season. It's been a blast, so I really, really do appreciate it. Not to get too sappy, but it's the truth. I love the fact that where this stream started, and then how we took it over to YouTube and whatnot. So if you are watching right now and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn the notifications on so that you can get here when the stream starts, be part of the Noti gang, because we dropped the victory music and the celebratory music at the beginning, and I just absolutely deleted beer at the beginning of the stream. So if you missed that, you missed out. How fast did I drink that beer for anyone that saw it? I don't even know. It went down pretty easy. Christopher saying retire number 0. News says, I figured Grant Williams not being player of the game was an oversight. 23 minutes and 0 tonight. That's 48 minutes and 0 points in 2 games. This man is setting Celtics records that may never be broken. Love it. Mac is saying this season has been up and down, but I have a good feeling we can make noise in the playoffs. From what we saw tonight, and they didn't play a good team. I feel like it's annoying that I have to keep prefacing it like that, right? But let me say this. They responded to adversity tonight. Not only from in the game when they got down early and pretty much were losing that entire game, but from just this has been am I wrong to think this was kind of like a must-win situation? They had so much shit going on outside of this team when they were clearly acknowledging the noise that was out there. The noise. Everyone was saying the noise. The fact that they came out and did get a win, albeit it wasn't the best win against the best team, it does show a little bit of fight, which we saw a little bit of fight against the Knicks. Now we saw a little bit of fight against the Timberwolves. It's not the best, sample size or 2 samples against these 2 teams, but it's a hell of a lot better than losing to these 2 teams. I'll say that, and I know that's a beat around the bush way of going about it, but would we have been shocked if they lost either of these 2 games? No, they've done it before this season, so it's got to be at least a step or a pinky toe in the right direction for this team. Yakin saying, I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. Let me know, man. Start Smart at the 1 and Fournier at the 2. That's what I saw, and I don't mind that starting lineup. Smart, Fournier, Jalen, Tatum, and then Robert Williams or something. I don't hate it, but I don't think you're ever going to get Kemba off the bench. It's as much as I was just talking about noise and stuff, you go and put a max contract guy on the bench. Now all of a sudden you're admitting defeat in a sense, and I don't know. And I do think Kemba has that sort of go-off ability, though we have only seen it a couple times this year. I don't know if Overbeat will do that. Ubi says the Knicks are solid this year. I'm just so far behind in the chat, but I'm going to roll with it. 2 says Jalen definitely has the killer instinct. Yep. Ubi says Tatum should be traded, man. I know. I don't think there's going to be any people doing that now. Jackin's saying let Kemba run his own game and stop patronizing and changing his game for the Jays. I don't think that would be bad. Kemba goes and runs the second unit. I don't hate it. I just don't know if they'd ever do it. Steven says, Romeo, who some Celtics fans think is the savior, was the only Celtics with a negative plus-minus tonight at negative 11. Negative 11's tough when you look around the plus-minuses tonight, too. Jack and saying, not getting down 20 in the first might make things a little easier. Michael saying, I believe in Kemba. I just wish he could renegotiate his contract. Yeah, I mean, he's just, the money is never going to make sense. Like, he's not going to get to the point where he's worth that money, and it's sad. And that's coming from a guy that loves Kemba. AC, can we agree that Boston gets the line? They're a way, way better team. When they get to the line, they are 100%. MT saying, just yanking your chain tonight, trying to keep things lighthearted because we might have a rough Sunday if we didn't play like we did early on in the game. But we all be here, win or lose. Guy Boston Sports Crew. Guys, I'm telling you guys, I truly appreciate how much you guys tune in. And there's another Celtics postgame show on YouTube. We used to do these on Twitter exclusively, and that was obviously the focus. Now that we've brought it over to YouTube, we went from just a few months ago, I guess at this point, 0 subscribers pretty much to almost 500. So I can't thank you guys enough. And I love that you guys are just as involved. And as the season progresses, we're seeing more and more regular names. We're here live after every single Celtics game, win or loss, and we're keeping it real, which I think, based on some of the feedback, obviously I'm doing this show. I'm not watching the other show. People come in here and say, oh my God, like you're like entertaining, making jokes. You can be real about this team. Like it's a little bit different than what's going on over there. So if that's the case, which I think it is, I do appreciate it, guys. Francisco saying, by killer instinct, I mean he's not aggressive and asking for the ball. Then, see, and I think I agreed with you earlier on that too. Like Jaylen Brown disappears in games. He does. 100%. So I agree with you there. But killer instinct, like you get what I mean then, Francisco, right? With like Jalen's killer instinct. I think Jalen gets that look in his eyes and he can do that. But if you say the definition of your killer instinct is like going out of his way to go get the ball, for sure, I can give you that. But I think that can change. I don't think that's like, oh, you're either born with it or not. I think he can develop into that. Let's see. MT saying, ladies and gents, chat popping off tonight. Steady chilling at 3 likes. Let's bring that up. Whoa. I hope that's a typo there. 3 likes. Gear says, everybody's sure to like the stream and help grow the channel in the streams. I crack myself up when I read your comments like that. We got a bunch of you guys that do that, and I'm just like, I read it as if you're asking me a question. And I'm like, oh, no, you guys are supporting the channel, so shout out to Gear. Shout out to everyone that does that, because I'm just Ron Burgundy. Greg says, the comments on JAYSON Tatum post for 50 points were releases from the Celtics hating trolls. Ubi says, drank it pretty slow. Come on, all right, what do we got here? We'll do it again. I know I see your second message, Ubi, but I'm going to not acknowledge it and act like I have to prove myself here. I'm holding this so weird. All right. This one's for the people back home. We got like a 3/4 of a beer. Maybe call it 6/10 of a beer, right? Gotta fire me up with a Grant Womp Womp. We're just gonna delete this now. I feel like that literally went down like a shot. That wasn't impressive, but wipe off the upper lip. I chugged the first one and had 0 burp really, and that one just freaking hit me. Gear says, how about smart passing birds for tonight for 3s? Yeah, I know. And then they're like, hey, Ray Allen, watch out. It's like, I mean, it's crazy because no one wants Marcus Smart shooting, but the fact that he's like passing greats on the all-time make is a little scary. Excuse me. Womp myself for anyone that heard the burp. Raisin says, back-to-back games, they've responded to adversity and come from behind. Good thing to take away. It is. Jason says, those people that said JT and JB are crazy. Connor says, really need a 10-plus point victory against a team like the Nuggets, Clippers, Nets, or Sixers. Just a statement of victory to prove we can make a run in the playoffs so this season is a bust. That's true. Certified, yes, sir. Thank you so much. He won the jersey. I've always wanted a jersey for so long, now I can finally get one. Yep. Hey, I think that everyone's saying, like, you love the show and you love that what I've done. I don't think that that's how it works. Like, I have to thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and tuning in. Like, that's how this works. It's not like, oh, thanks, Ev, for, what you've done. I come on here and talk into a microphone like an idiot after Celtics games. You guys are the ones that, propel the show with comments and whatnot and content. So, while I'll always hear a thank you and pat myself on the back, I'll take that opportunity. I telling you guys, it sounds stupid, it sounds sappy, like it's out of a movie. I couldn't do this without you. I could, but it wouldn't be as good. Anyone that knows me knows that I could talk forever if I needed to. But to be able to respond to you guys is kind of the whole point of the show, and I love doing it. Perfect comment after this. Brad says, Ev's awesome. Hit them likes and subscribe. or you love the Nets, which, if you haven't liked the video yet, you like the Nets. You probably think Kyrie Irving's the best thing to ever happen to Boston. Raisin says, would love it if Tatum carries the momentum and drops 40 on Ben Simmons next game. Fab says, shout out from the west coast of Canada. Hell yeah. KJ says, stop trying to get Ev drunk, and by stop, I mean don't stop. I think we are out of beers. Could always go get another one, but we'll see. Gear says, for certain matchups, do you think Thompson gets more? Let's see. I'll do this. Ready? You guys are going to have to share it around because we don't have enough people in the chat to break this. But if we do hit 50 likes, which is a few more likes, I will go grab another beer and we'll delete it again. But that means you guys got to, share it around and go get other people in the stream. And I don't want any burner accounts in here. Remember that time we were like, oh, let's get 50 likes. All of a sudden 50 likes popped up. I was like, all right, who did it? Who did it? Gear says, for certain matchups, do you think Thompson gets as many starts over Rob? Gets some starts over Rob? I mean, probably because it's Brad Stevens. I just don't want that to be the case. I think you've got to continue to give Robert Williams a start because you kind of gave him the nod. Like, you're the starter. I swear to God, like, you gave Rob the starting job. You take that away, you're pretty much, and even if it's for a game, like, oh, it's a matchup. If I'm Robert Williams, I'm saying, damn, man, because he's thinking there shouldn't be a matchup that I can't start against. So I'm sure Brad Stevens might do it. I just don't know if it's the best move long term. News says, I'm Ev Singleton, said in a Rob Burgundy voice. Ubi says it was fine. I think you could do better. Greg says, let's go, Ev. Kenny saying this channel is going to pop, I declare. What's up, Kenny? Tiffany saying, you're the best. Raiden says, quick, someone make 13 accounts and get us to 50. I think we only need, what do we need? I just said we had 40 likes. I put my phone down. I check it again. We're at 48. Unless I'm wrong. Remember last time my like count was just so off? KJ says, I am overruling Ev and saying you guys can use burner accounts. KJ, if anyone's going to have the authority to do it, it's KJ. So if he says make burner accounts, go make burner accounts. Just make sure those burner accounts subscribe. Can we make that a deal? Greg says, Rob needs another statement game of like 15 and 15 with perfect shooting and 3 blocks. I love the guy, but he hasn't been good recently. And that's what sucks because we see it in him and we all know the case. It's like, he's so young. This is his first legitimate year, right? Is it that bad that he's had some bad games? I don't hold it that much against him, but he is at times hurting them out there, right? So it's like, oh boy, like if we go and sit him, now you're playing, like I said, you're playing a tough game because do you kill his confidence and bench him? Or do you let him ride it out and learn, but then pretty much cost you that game? It's tough. Raisin says, next time someone scores 40 or more, the Celtics blow out a good team, you need to do a shotgun. I would have completely done a shotgun. We only shotgun once on the stream. Would have 100% actually, I do have a seltzer. I don't want to mix that in right now. Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to mix in a a bunch of beers tonight. If we hit 50 likes, which is one more like, which it looks like we probably won't be able to hit. Do I? No, I'm not mixing a seltzer. I will chug another beer at 50 likes. So I got to save the shotguns, just like you say, Raisin. Next time someone scores 40 or more and the Celtics blow out a good team, that's more of a it's Bud Light seltzer. Greg. Ubi says, as much as I love Rob, we need to stretch big. More space equals Tatum driving more wins. Yeah, I do. I think that is true, but I think Robert Williams is almost like so athletic and so athletic. Yeah, so athletic that he doesn't clog the lane as much as you think. And if he is clogging the lane, he's there for the alley-oop, which isn't always the case. Like, Tristan Thompson clogs the lane, and that's not to me to rag on him. It's the type of player he is, right? So the fact that, he's able to be agile down there and athletic and sort of sky, he doesn't clog it as much as I think some might think, but he doesn't stretch the floor. So I'll give you that. Gear saying, like the streamer, Grant and Semi will start next game. Oh boy, you guys want that happening? You guys really want Grant and Semi starting? I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes to get that one like. I'm not staying on here all night. But keep dropping the comments, guys. You guys are propelling the show. I feel like I'm completely caught up right now, which is amazing. But let's keep it going. Raisin says, what I worry about is the Celtics' success to predicate too much on the three. It's not a good strategy. It's not. It isn't. But it's not going to change. Brad Stevens loves the three. He loves the quantity, all that jazz. All right. Connor says, crazy question, but if you can bring back a Celtics from the 60s to be on this team in their prime, who are you picking, Russell or Tommy? I mean, Russell, how could you not bring back, I mean, either of those. I do think, and I've said it before, losing Tommy Heinsohn, I think had some sort of an impact on the grit of this team. But I think the easy answer would probably be Bill, right? Like how can you not bring back a winner like that? Greg says, I went on my iPad to see if I could like again, but it's the same account. I mean, if we're not going to hit 50, we're not going to hit 50. What can I say? New says, we need to start a GoFundMe for a new liver for you in a couple years because we pressure you into alcoholism for our entertainment. Dance, monkey, dance. You know, News, I would say that really hurts, but you're kind of just spitting facts. Kenny's saying, I'd prefer to pair Tatum with a big who can board over shoot. I mean, yeah, and honestly, it's like... And again, let's spin it back into the Robert Williams thing. It's like the Celtics don't necessarily need to always stretch the floor. It works. It opens up driving lanes. But Jayson Tatum's good enough to be able to drive with a big man near the lane. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, man, like Jalen and Jason, like they can't score if there's a big man down there. They can. Think about what Jayson Tatum just dropped 53 points with Tristan Thompson being the predominant big man tonight. So it's not like, oh, man, you know, nothing's ever going to happen if they don't get that stretch big. Like they can still win. So I think you got to prioritize. And to Kenny's point here, it's like, you know, you put so much emphasis on a guy that stretches the floor, you will lose some of that rebounding presence. Greg said, I already read that. Two said, I wish they'd get Rob more involved in the offense. Yeah, because there is some times where he is like so involved, catching lobs, everything like that. Tiffany says we have 51 likes. Oh, so we're doing this, huh? Well, I got a fact check on my end. 52. All right, you guys check out. All right. So what do we think? Let me see yes or no in the chat. I mean, I know the answer. Who the hell am I kidding? Should I go grab another one? Do we chug it? Actually, let me know in the chat. Do we just chug a beer? That's what I would prefer, okay? Or do we terribly shotgun throwing a seltzer into the stomach, shotgun style, when we've had beer all night? What do you guys think? Let me know. I'll give it a couple minutes here. How about we do this? I don't know how this is going to work. A 1 in the chat for the beer, a 2 in the chat for the seltzer. If you guys love me, you'll go 1. If you guys want to make me dance, monkey dance, you go seltzer. See, PJ saying 1. 3 for both. Connor, are you kidding me? 1. I don't know. What was 1? Was 1 the beer or was 1 the seltzer? 2. I mean, gear's still on the burner. Hey, as long as the burner subscribe, burner's allowed. KJ approved. I forgot the numbers too. 1-1-1. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll save the shotgun for when it's more of a shotgun vibe, right? We'll just go chug another one. All right, I'm going to put this back to the starting soon, so I'll be right back, though. Like, literally 2 seconds. My fridge is 18 yards away, exactly. And I run a 4.340. Everyone knows that. All right. Little sweaty after that sprint. KJ says my 40 time was 5.44. Yeah, but I had the hands of a magician. All right. Why we got 2, I don't really know. I don't plan on staying here that much longer, but I do. This is just like last time. This is ice cold. It's going to kill going down. All right, let's do it. We hit 53 likes before the shotgun, or the chug. I can't even call it a shotgun. All right, here we go. Kenny says the shot. Here we go. It's freezing cold. I mean, I did this at the beginning of the stream. I guess it's only right that we close it. So here we go. Someone tell me how fast it did. Ubi said earlier that it was so bad, but I'm going to get brain freeze, by the way, Raisin. Here we go. I'm all right. Mom? No, the only reason that was tough was because of how cold it was. But damn. Wongy says, what is this? What are you guys talking about? Do a vortex? Wongy's got me figuring how to shotgun a bottle, doing a vortex. I don't know what these things are. I did get brain freeze though. It's all right though. We're battling through. Don't you dare think I'm chugging this one. Greg goes, I know you have to pee like a racehorse, right? How are you in my mind? I thought about it when I was out there, but I was like, okay. But I also just went and left. I don't want to leave. I do have to go like a racehorse, but hey, an athlete holds it, right? I'm at the line. It's a 1-point game. I got to make it. I can't say, hey, coach, I got to go pee. No. Raisin says, what's my favorite kind of beer? All right. My favorite kind of beer, I think, is, like I said, Yingling Lager. Not light, but that's like my go-to beer. Favorite, if I'm going hey, and it's not the craftiest beer, obviously, but Boom Sauce is just one of my absolute favorites. If I'm trying to have a couple of them, but we'll obviously have more than enough Boom Sauce too, so it's not even a couple, but, excuse me, Boom Sauce I'll go to. AC, who's in the chat earlier, sent me I think it was a Cloud something. It was crazy because I don't drink IPAs that much. I've been trying to get more into them. But Boom Sauce is probably my favorite right now. And I think it's probably goes, Yingling Lager and then Boom Sauce sort of as my just go-to normal beer that, I can get at any liquor store around me. Or, Boom Sauce is probably that more crafty beer. Fab says, attaboy, now do it again. PJ saying, what's faster, Grant Williams 40 time or Ev chugging a cold one? I mean, it has to be me, right? I think I'm faster chugging a cold one than some NFL prospects running the 40. So I don't know if to be offended or I love the fact that you're trying to rag on Grant, PJ. News says you're like the dead dude from the on the Man Show. Gears back to his non-burner account. Greg says, whenever I drink, I have to pee every 2 seconds. It's just a thing, especially when you break the seal. Raisin said, do you plan on going to a game anytime soon? I think I said this before on one of the previous streams. It's I might if the opportunity arises. I'm not going out of my way this year to go to a stream. One, obviously with COVID and everything, I did have it and survived it. It was rough for a couple days. For anyone that didn't have it, and doesn't believe in it, I guess I think it's real just because, I'm a healthy, young male and it fucked with me for a couple days. But that even being the lesser percentage, I don't want to necessarily go to the TD Garden with the TD Garden vibe. You know what I mean? That's not I'm not going out of my way to pay a bunch of money for a ticket where I'm oh wow, this isn't the same. So I don't know. I keep kind of teeter-tottering there. Connor says, how many points do Semi and Grant have to combine for you to drink the most you've ever have on a stream? 11 points too high. I mean, yes, that's too high. Honestly, if Semi and Grant combined for 20 points, I'd for shotgun in there. News says COVID and Romy are both hosts. Hey, if anyone know, I'm not. I mean, I know you're joking too. News I'm not the person that's gonna talk. Not even political, but that type of shit. I am so not. When my buddies start going into all that stuff too, I'm kind of I'll listen and stuff, but I'm not educated or smart enough to be let me tell you this. So if I did more research on it, I would be able to have a strong opinion on it. But all I know is that I tested positive for it, and I was getting super tired and headaches for 2 days. Never lost taste or anything like that, but I went and got a test and had it, and it was just really abnormal. What I'll say this, ready? I was okay, survived it, knew I was going to get through. I can see why, people in nursing homes or elderly people, they would struggle from it. I'll say that. Raisin said, what's the best kind of beer to have at they have at the TD Garden? I don't know. I don't think I ever, it's so expensive. It's so expensive that I think I always would get just a Bud Light or something at the TD Garden. I don't really know any specific beers. I know they have other beers, but I never really go crazy there because it's super expensive. So I'm all right, you know what? I'm not this classy individual. Clearly. So I'm just going like a Bud Light or something. Let's see. Wongy says, will Fournier go on the road trip? I think he's already, they already said he's not, right? Like, I think he's missing this road trip, I believe. I thought I saw that. But, I mean, it sucks because now at the end of this road trip, you know, what is that? 2.5 weeks of games, maybe? And he's only played in like two bad games, 2 good games. He's only played in 4 games. So it's not the best. KJ says, Ev, stream cut out when you said think about Semi and Grant combining for 20, so I need you to say it again so you can get a clean cut so I can blackmail you. All right, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you, KJ, because I respect you. If Grant Williams and Semi Ojeleye combined for 20 or more points in a game, it's a guaranteed shotgun on the postgame stream. Did you get that, KJ? I mean, very well the stream could have cut out too, though. You guys have known, like, we tried to play a video earlier in the couple days ago, and it was tough. Francisco said from 1 to 10, 10 being the drunkest, how drunk you, literally, 2, 3 maybe. Like, I ready for this? ZYXWVU2 SRQPOLNM LKJIHGF EDCBA. Pretty good. I mean, not the greatest. I'm not drunk at all. Which is, maybe I'm like burning the calories doing the stream. Because I should be. Ubi says, I'm going to give Grant PEDs just so they can go accomplish that. Hey, if it helps the Celtics, I'm willing to do it. I'll kill my liver to help the Celtics. Greg says, you better hope that Tatum and Brown, Smart, and Kemba don't miss a game together. Yeah, hey, I'm down to shotgun. Anyone that knows me knows I'm not going to turn down a shotgun. So it's almost it's a fun little gamble here. Let's see. Sorry. Says, what should the C's prioritize in the draft? So in the draft, now I've said this for a while now, and I don't know if it's the biggest issue, but I'll say what my what I would like would be. So for the longest time, I feel like they try and get a guy that's like a master of something and a jack of no trades type of thing, right? Like I don't want the guy that, oh my God, he's a really good shooter but can't do anything. He's a really good defender but he can't do anything. Or, you know, he's really strong like a Grant Williams but can't do anything else. I want the Celtics to start looking at guys that are, okay, you know what? They're kind of just a jack of all trades but a master of none. Like, give me a guy that does a lot of everything, nothing spectacular, but then let him build something. Look at Jaylen Brown. He's literally an example of that. He came into the NBA as a pretty just NBA-ready body. Athletic, didn't have any passing, dribbling, shooting skill. Now look at him. He's been able to build on these different parts of his game. So that's what I want them to do, and I feel like they just don't do that in the draft. They draft a 3'11" shooter or a 4'10" power forward. And it gets so annoying because they try to get too granular and pick these things out and say, hey, let's get this guy. Give me either, and I don't want to go for a wing necessarily, so I would say either get like a big that is a jack of all trades, master of none, or get a bigger guard that's the same thing. He's not a great shooter. He's not the best facilitator, not the best defender, but he can do a little bit of everything. And that's what I've wanted. I know that's I don't know. I feel like that's such a basic ask, but where has that been, right? It's crazy. Francisco's saying he is drunk. Hey, I can't confirm nor deny if Francisco's correct. Let's see. Fab saying, let's go Semi and Grant. I mean, for a stream that has been pretty tough on these guys, I feel like I just made a fan out of all you guys. New says, this is like watching my scout leader at a campfire. Higgins is saying correct. Taja says, if Grant Semi combined for 30 points, I'm going to need 5 shotguns in a row. Raiden says, if I'm age, I'm trading this pick for future first rounders. I just don't know. I don't even know if I agree with that because the Celtics don't need any recent coming up picks. They don't need any near future picks, to be honest. And that's why it's like when you're talking about trades, not you, but like when we've been talking about trades, it's like, oh, but you wouldn't give up a first rounder for that guy. It's like, why? Why do you need another 20-year-old? Wangi saying Jan Mater is he one of those guys? I don't know much about him. Is Mater kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none? Higgins saying, I want a lumber Euro big with a 3-point stroke. Will he be useful? No. Will I love him? Yes. Uwe says, trade to the picks for someone, not a rookie. Brad says, I feel like I'm buzzing. You are buffering and freezing. All these shotguns went right to my brain. I'm getting messed up. I mean, you're not. It's probably me. Am I freezing and lagging? If that's the case, then we're probably going to shut down stream soon. But if that's also the case, I really do appreciate people sticking it out this late in the stream. So let me know if I'm lagging, because if that's the case, I'll jump off soon, but we'll delete this. Connor says, hey, Francisco, if you're still here, maybe that 2 out of 10 that I said is probably like a 10 out of 10 the way I just tried to start that sentence. Grant's career high is 18 and semis 24, so we will get that shotgun, no doubt. Hey, you guys got to hold me to it. Hey, I've had so many beers, I might forget everything I'm saying. Greg says, the only picks we need are studs that are top 3 players in the draft and can help immediately. Yeah, they don't need you don't need another Neesmith. No matter how much you want, I'm not getting into this either. No matter how much you believe in Neesmith, no matter how much you believe in Romeo or Grant, you don't need any more of those guys. Raisin, how many more Langfords and Neesmiths do we need? Fab says, I agree with you. We need a complete role player. I think I was a 2 when Francisco asked me, but then I tried to go ZYXW blah blah blah, and it just put me through a blender. But Am I? Let me ask you guys, because now I'm caught up in the chat. It's like a straight up conversation. Am I lagging? Is it going slow, or is that possibly just your feed there, Brad? I just checked it. I'm pretty sure we lost a couple likes. Just saying. I saw 55 likes. Now I see 51. Did you guys like the stream to make me chug and then get rid of it? Damn, man, I gotta give a shout out to you guys that so I'm fine. Yeah, I'm not lagging. Shout out to everyone that video I did a podcast with one of my buddies. He's doesn't do social media or anything like that, but I brought him on the show and it killed it today. It was it was so negative. Anyone that feels negative about this team, go check out the most recent podcast that we did. Yeah, it's like we are under 50 likes right now. I don't know where the hell that just came from. Who did it? Who done it? I'm not crazy, I saw that. KJ, I can't, anyone that's been in, I cannot share my screen. It messes up the stream. We tried it last stream. I got to restart my computer or something to be able to do it. Yeah, it's down to 40. I mean, the fact I don't know what just happened. I saw. I'm not crazy. I saw 50 plus likes, so it's down to 45 now. I mean, I don't know what's happening. It does sometimes YouTube is sort of it counts them, then it takes them away, and then counts them again. Let me see if I can see in the back end. But since I'm live, I don't know if I'll be able to. We did hit 480 subs, so shout out to you guys. Thank you. Yeah, I can't see this stuff. Whatever. All right. So you see, Francisco sees 55. That's good. So you still see 55. If you get out of it and come back, Fab says, if you get 50 again, will you chug? Yes, but you probably won't. I know everyone in the stream right now must have liked by now. But yes. I'll probably give it, guys. I'm probably going to be only live for a couple more minutes. So how about this? You guys let me off early. We still got plenty of a beer here. I'll chug it. We'll get going. Hopefully I impressed you guys with my drinking tonight. That was really my goal. No, KJ, I don't know if people are to be honest. Is it going? I mean, I hope people aren't trolling because it's at 44 now. Whatever. All right, we'll chug it. Hopefully YouTube's messing up and people aren't trolling because that's really mean. But let's do this. Greg says, I want to go to a bar with you after all these shotguns. Hey, I'm getting off soon, so I can say this. I could do this. I could do this for a while more. I'm not going to say I could do this all night, because pretty soon all night will become me pass out on the floor doing it. But one of these days we want to do, and I think we teased it a while ago, so I'll say this because I know the real ones are still in here. I think we got to do like a watch party of the game or something. I don't know how that works with the delay of the game and whatnot, but I think that would be pretty cool to do. Yeah, Tiffany saying I don't know where these likes went. We just talked about it too. I don't understand what just happened. But like a live watch where, you know, like it's like I'm watching the game talking to you guys while it happens too. I don't know how that works with the delay and whatnot, but I think that'd be pretty cool to do. And I know KJ's done it too with I think some of the bigger Red Sox games last year, but it could be cool to do. But anyways, guys, I don't know what's happening with the likes. I'm kind of hoping that something's just messed up, and that's not the case right now. But I am gonna jump off and up to 4. So we're up now. Let's see if it makes the climb. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes because if it's at 46, maybe just making a climb back. Maybe YouTube's watching this and it's like, okay, let's bring him below 50. He said if we get 50 again, he'll chug again. So now YouTube's in on it. Which one of you guys works for YouTube and is fleecing this whole thing? I have a feeling. Oh geez, yeah. Here, KJ says if you haven't tried Ev's Celtics drinking game, check it out. Let me see. I can put the link in this chat. I mean, it's. Oh, this is gonna. If you guys want the drinking game, DM me on Twitter at EvGuyBoston. Just go to GuyBostonSports.com has it. So GuyBostonSports.com and search Celtics drinking game. You'll find it. It tried and true, a back and forth game. Get you pretty, you know. But a game that, you know, it's like one-sided or the other and guys are doing things. You'll probably have 5 beers, maybe 5 or 6, but a back and forth game because you have to take a sip every lead change. That can get you going. But anyways, guys, I am going to sign off tonight. I don't know what happened with the likes. YouTube bamboozled me. It inflated the likes just so I would go and chug a beer, and then all of a sudden it took them all away. So that's a bummer, but I do appreciate everyone tuning in. We are here live after every single Celtics game, and I appreciate everyone tuning in. I love the fun that we had tonight, and all the new names. I appreciate the subs and whatnot. So again, thank you, and we'll be back here next game. Hopefully we're talking about another win because that would mean 3 in a row, which would be pretty cool. But I'll see you guys in the next stream, all right? Peace.